Hi, my name is Ramdas Lam. I'm a professor in the religion department here at the University of Hawai'i, where I've been teaching full-time since 1991. So, according to tradition, Siddhartha Gautama, who eventually came to be known as the Buddha, lived 6th century BCE, mid-6th century to mid-5th century BCE. We are told that he was a young prince who left home in order to become enlightenment, gave up his wealth, gave up family, and went and searched, lived in the jungle, and did ascetic practices, austerity practices, meditated, fasted, did these kinds of practices in order to reach enlightenment. And we are told that he reached enlightenment, and the last step to get there was sitting under a tree for 49 days. Botanically, it is a fig tree, fig family tree, just like the banyan tree here. The Bodhi tree is in India called peepal, P-E-E-P-A-L, the peepal tree. And while he was doing his meditation, and eventually he got enlightened. As a result of it, that tree became very sacred to the followers, to his followers. About 200 years later, by which time Buddhism, the teachings of the Buddha, had spread to the island south of India, known at the time as Ceylon, now called Sri Lanka, so I'll refer to it as Sri Lanka. So we're told that in the 3rd century BCE, around the year 288, that the king of Sri Lanka, who went on pilgrimage to where this tree was in a place called Bodhi, took a cutting of the tree back to Sri Lanka, and he planted it there. The tree ended up growing, so we are told that that tree has continued to live in Sri Lanka. Then jump forward to the 19th century, and we have a woman by the name of Mary Foster, who was born here in Hawaii in the year 1844. So anyway, in 1913, Anagarika Dharmapala returned to Hawaii. She had met him in 1893. He returned here 20 years later. And he brought for her, because of the work that she had done and the donations that she had made, the spreading of Buddhism and the help of Buddhist organizations, he brought her a cutting of the tree from Sri Lanka, the one that was said to have been planted in 288 BC. Maybe about 20 years later, we don't know exactly when, or I don't know exactly when, a cutting of that tree. At a variety of times, cuttings from that tree were given to different Buddhist organizations here in Hawaii. And a cutting of that tree about, I think, maybe 20 years after it was planted or after she passed away, was given to the University of Hawai'i. And that tree was planted next to the Student Services building. So if you're standing at Varney Circle and you're looking at the Student Services Center, just to the left of that building is the tree, the Bodhi tree. So that tree is a cutting that came from Mary Foster's vineyard, and her tree is a cutting that came from Sri Lanka, and the Sri Lankan tree is a cutting that came from Bodhi, said to be the tree that the Buddha sat under when he got enlightened.